Hi and welcome to today's lesson. So today we're doing homophones and homonyms in Afrikaans, better known as womophone and womonime. So we're going to jump right in and we're going to do one at a time just to make sure that it's easier for you. But remember that in a test, this only counts 1 mark, but it's important for you to master it so that you don't have to learn it the whole time. As a matter of fact, if you teach yourself this in time, there will be no need for you to study this throughout the year. Okay, womonime, words that have the same spelling, sounds the same, but have different meanings. So I always like to use like the image of a cat because cats are roughly the same. Yes, there are ginger cats and black cats and all of that stuff, but a cat is a cat is a cat is a cat. So they all look the same, but they have different meanings in terms of it's a white cat, a ginger cat, a black cat. I hope that makes sense. Womophone, on the other hand, look a bit different. So words that have different spelling, sounds the same, but have different meanings. So dogs are not all the same, but they are dogs, but you get different types of dogs that are shaped differently. So it's not just the color. They're all shaped differently. You get small dogs, big dogs, I guess like long-looking dogs, chihuahuas, all of the above. So they are quite different, even though they're all dogs, but they're not like cats that stay the same, but the color differs. I hope that kind of makes it easier for you to understand. Okay, so the way that I like to remember it is that womonime, same with the cat thing, they have N in them. So for me, whenever I hear the N in womonime, because that's the difference between womonime and womophone, I know that womophone also has an N, but I mean after the homo part. Then it means that the same. So there'll be one word that has 2 different meanings. And then womophone, the F reminds me always of the word different. So different has 2 F's in it. So I think that's how I kind of used to remember them without confusing myself. And that is all you need to know basically, because I feel like once you figure out the difference between the two, the rest becomes easy. So how do we apply it? They have different ways of asking this. I'm going to run you through the possible scenarios, but in my opinion, as long as you know, let's say the 2 meanings of womonime and the different meanings of womophone, honestly, like that's already like 80% of the battle won, in my opinion. So the best way to also do this is to build a list. They keep asking the same womonime and womophone. So in my opinion, I feel like the way you study it is to study all the common ones, which I'll share with you at the end, and then you'll find a way to know them on a deep level in order for you to be prepared with whatever they ask, because there are way too many and there's no way that you can remember them all, but you can look for common patterns. All right, so there are 2 ways to ask this. They pull it or extract it from a text, or they ask for the 2 sentences to demonstrate that you know the meaning. So you'd rather have this one, but essentially they are the same, because sometimes they'll pull or extract something from the meaning, and then in the question they'll ask you to demonstrate if you know the other meaning of it. So it's not like the sentence, like context will give you any help, but at the lower levels, like maybe grade 7 and 8, they might do that. Let's start with womophone. These are words that have different spelling, they sound the same but have different meanings. So let's look at this first example. Kies die korrekte homofoon van die woord tussen hakies om die sin te voltooi. So the context of the sentence will give you clues as to which of these to know. So I'll be first to admit that yes, it's possible that you might not know all the meanings, but I think you will know at least the meaning of one, if let's say you don't know the meaning of the other. So in this case, you are likely to know the meaning of mood, made with a D, and you are likely to know the meaning of moed, because you hear it everywhere. Jy moet dit doen, jy moet dat doen. So moed means must. So here it says die soldaat, the soldier, het sy land verdedigd, protected his country with what? So you know that it can't be moed, because the sentence won't say die soldaat het sy land. It would say die soldaat moet sy land. Okay, beskerm. So if you had to guess, then I would eliminate the one that you know in order to fit the sentence, in which case here moed would be the answer, because moed means bravery or courage, if let's say you did not know that. But obviously if you knew that, then you would know immediately that that's the one that's applicable. So then when you write your answer or you complete this thing, if they don't give you an answer place, this is what it will look like. Number 2, kies die regte woord tussen hakies. Ons sal môre vroeg na Johannesburg. So this sounds like travel because you're going somewhere. So now you have to choose between these two, reis with IE and reis with long Y. So with these ones, you must know which one is rice that you eat. And you must make it easier for yourself so that you can always remember. For example, you can use the bucket of the I to know that, okay, my food goes in there, for example. Then you know that this one is rice, so the other one is rice, which means that that one is the right answer. So ons sal môre vroeg gereis na Johannesburg. So in this case, reis means journey or travel, and the other one means rice that you eat. Example 3. Gee die homofoon van die onderstreepte woord en gebruik dit in 'n sin. Die dokter het 'n eed afgelê voor hy begin praktiseer het. So if you don't know what eed is, you can ask yourself what eed sounds like. So it sounds like eed, which means that that is the other side of this homophone. So you know that the other one is eed. So let's see if there's a question. Gee die homofoon, meaning that they want you to give the other one, not this one. If let's say you didn't understand it, and the right answer for that is eet, which will make it easier for you to make a sentence because you know what eet means. So let's say your sentence is ek eet my rice en vleis, so that your sentence will give you that answer. But here they said give the homophone, which means that they don't require the sentence. So even if you wrote this eet alone, you would have gotten the mark. Example 4, kies die korrekte homofoon. Sy is op haar akademiese prestasie. So this 4 en 4. Now you need to ask yourself, which one of these do you know? This 4, the small 4, is the one that means 4. So you must eliminate what you don't know, and then the opposite is the answer, basically. So you know that this is 4, the number 4. So you know that the sentence can't say, sy is 4 op haar akademische. She's 4 on her academic achievement. That doesn't make any sense, which means that it's the other one, 4 with the long F. So in this case, 4 means trots, meaning you are proud of yourself, celebrating yourself or something like that. So you know that the other meaning is the right answer. Last example, gee die homofoon van vel en gebruik dit in 'n betekenisvolle sin. The crazy thing about this is that they didn't give you an example sentence. The funny thing is that they didn't give you an example sentence because, in my opinion, if you want to give the homophone for vel, you must first know what this vel means. Okay, vel means skin, whether it's alive on you or on a carpet somewhere, and then the other one means fierce or intense. So here's an example sentence that you can use. Die son brand vandag fel en ons het baie water nodig. So just to indicate intensity. Oh, now I know why. Okay, so I misspoke. So they said give the homophone of fel because this is already the sentence that I said was missing earlier. It's basically this word. So they are giving you this word. They want you to give the other word. I'm sorry about that. All right, let's quickly go to homonime. Words that have the same spelling, sounds the same, but have different meanings. All right, example 1. Gebruik die homoniem van 'n rol in 'n sin waar die verskillende betekenis duidelik blyk. So this is like what I would call a hard question because you are not being asked about the other meaning or something like that. You're being asked for both of them at the same time. So off the top of my head, I know that roll means rolling down the mountain, and the other role is like a role that you play. Okay, so you can even maybe ask yourself what it is in English because in this case it helped us. Okay, so here's possible answers. Die acteur speel 'n belangrike rol in 'n toneelstuk, so it can be character or function, or you can say that someone plays a role in your life. Like that's also an important way to look at it. And then the other one, die kinders rol die bal van die helling af, meaning something that's moving, rolling somewhere. All right, example 2. Watter betekenis het die onderstreepte woord in hierdie sin? Die weer was uitstekend vir die konsert buite. So die weer in this case, it's the weather. Okay, so now they're asking you, skryf dan 'n sin waar weer 'n ander betekenis het. So betekenis means meaning, okay? And they want you to write a sentence to demonstrate that you know the other meaning. So in this case, if weer means the weather, the other weer is for doen dit weer, like do it again, okay? So like I said, the one meaning is for the weather, the other meaning is for again. So the other alternative sentence could be, hy het weer vergeet om sy huiswerk te doen, which in this case means again. Next, die woord bank is 'n homoniem. Skryf twee sinne wat twee verskillende betekenisse duidelik toon. Again, they want you to write two different sentences so that they can see that you know what each meaning is. So bank is the bank where you get money. The other bank is like what you sit on. You'll hear that a lot of Afrikaans people, they don't say sofa or sofa or something like that. They say bank or restbank, or even like the tables that you sit at school, they call them banke. So the other meaning is where you sit, basically. So the one meaning side geld by die bank gaan onttrek, so the bank where your money is, and the other one is die ou man sit op die bank in die park. Again, like a place to sit. Example 4, watter van die volgende is 'n homoniem? This one is a kind of like a level A kind of a question, and then it says motiveer kortlik, so you'll still get like 2 to 3 marks for it. So, or like half a mark to pick one, and then the other half a mark for the sentence. It depends on the exam. So the first one is val en val. The number B is lig, number C is haal en haal. This means fetch, that means hail falling. Lig is the answer because it is the one that is by itself, meaning that it has two meanings, but doesn't need to change spelling. So you must first get a mark for picking the right one, and then you're gonna use whatever meaning to show that you know the meaning of both of the definitions of that word. Meaning the first one is the light that's burning, the other one is light as in heaviness or lifting something. Then number 5, gebruik die homoniem van stof in twee sinne sodat die verskillende betekenis duidelik bly. Number 1, die stof op die rakke moet afgevee word. Don't confuse stoof and stof. Stof means dust. That's the most common use of it, but stof was used back in the day to also describe fabric or material. It is no longer used, but it is part of Afrikaans history, I guess. And that is literally all you have to do. So back to my idea about the list, this is what your typical list can look like when you're studying. Basically get ChatGPT to literally find commonly asked homonime. That's exactly what I did to get this list. And then obviously ask it to also put in the meanings for you so that you can learn it with the meanings. So that's something that you can do right now after this lesson to ensure that you are covering yourself for the upcoming test. Do not take this lightly because just because it's 1 mark, it doesn't mean that it's not important. 1 mark is the difference between you passing or failing. 1 mark is also is the difference between whether you get a distinction or not a distinction. And yes, it does matter. So, and remember, a lot of the marks on the Afrikaans paper are 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. The purpose of that is to add them all up. So every bit counts, basically. All right. I need a quick favor from you. It turns out that a whopping 96% of you are not subscribed to my channel. Can you please just take 2 seconds to just subscribe so that I can make more videos for you guys if you enjoy them or if you find them to be super helpful? I'd really appreciate that. All right, that is it. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.